Hello, Chef Val here. It is Sunday, February 22nd, which means today is the last day that you can get the 2026 Vegan Health Bundle. You have to click on the link in the description of this video. Now, I've been talking about the bundle for a week now. All my videos on my YouTube channel have been going on and on about the bundle, so hopefully you've seen those videos. I have been interviewing some of the amazing people who have put items in the bundle. They all have fantastic, interesting stories to tell, so make sure you watch those videos and click on the link to get the bundle. The bundle is a collection of over 70 different items worth over $4,500 worth of merchandise, and it's yours for only $49. These are digital downloads that you save. I save them on a flash drive, and you have them forever. The bundle contains cookbooks. There's over 1,000 recipes in there. It contains cooking videos, cooking classes. It contains lecture series about food, how it affects your cholesterol, your heart health, your overall health. I mean, there's so much in the bundle. There's also videos about emotional healing and the spiritual side of food, wonderful videos like that. Now, what I have in the bundle is my cancer healing and prevention with Macrobiotic Principles. This is a class that I taught last year, and this is in the bundle now, and you will get the recording to all 4 of the classes that I taught. Each class is 2 hours long, and you get a 65-page booklet with the information. In the classes, I taught recipes, some standard macrobiotic recipes that are very healing, such as miso soup, and there's also aduki beans and squash. And these particular recipes target and nurture organs in the body to help heal your body from a disease such as cancer. The miso soup that I created for these classes is a special miso soup specifically designed for anybody who is suffering with the disease of cancer. All the ingredients have anti-cancer properties, and I go over that in the class, and it's also written in the printed material. So that's the miso soup that, in the class, I also recommend, if this is your journey and you're just, trying to heal the body, miso soup is recommended every single day, a bowl of miso soup every day. And I go over that in the class too. So this class that I taught, if you were to purchase this off of my website, this alone is $140. And that's just one of the items in the bundle. Remember, the bundle has like 70 different items, and each one is worth, a certain amount of money. It's over $4,500 worth of merchandise for only $49. But this collection of items, this is very unique. You're never going to get all of these items together in one package called the 2026 Vegan Health Bundle. You have to click on the link today, February 22nd. Today's the last day. You have to click on that link and purchase that bundle. Okay? So today I thought I would tell you about one of my favorite ingredients, one that I use all the time. It's featured in the Cancer Healing and Prevention with Macrobiotic Principles. It is the UMEBOSHI plum. Now, this is UMEBOSHI plum paste. I use the paste because it's easier to measure. Have you heard of UMEBOSHI plums? Do you use them? What do you think about them? Put your answer in the comments. This is a traditional Japanese food. Now, I learned about the umeboshi a long time ago when I first discovered macrobiotics, which I was in my early 20s when I first discovered macrobiotics. And this is an ingredient that they use in a lot of their recipes for the flavor. I mean, it's a tremendous flavor, but it's got huge healing potential too, and healing properties to it. All right. So after you get the bundle and you open up my item that I submitted, you can read through the information because I have it all printed out. And then if you watch the video, I show you how to make the recipe that features the umeboshi, one of the recipes, which is a aramay and broccoli dish. And it features the umeboshi as a seasoning. But what I go through is what is umeboshi, how do they make it, and the healing properties of it. I'll share some of that information with you here right now. So the umeboshi is a fermented food. Fermented food, fantastic for you. Digestive enzymes, it's good for your gut, it's good for your gut bacteria, it's fantastic for you. Well, the umeboshi is a fermented food. They take the umeboshi plums and they pick them when they're not quite ripe, and they mix them with sea salt, and they also put a shiso leaf in there. Shiso leaves are bright red leaves. Some people call them beefsteak leaves. So all that gets fermented together, natural fermentation. You mix it all together and you put weight on top of it and you let it sit. Now, good umeboshi probably ferments for like 2 years. And so I do more description here, but basically they ferment it, and then the liquid that comes off of fermenting the umeboshi plums is umeboshi vinegar or ume vinegar. Another one of my favorite seasonings, ume vinegar. They put that in bottles, and what's left is the umeboshi plums. Now, you can buy the whole umeboshi plums, and I do get those too, but for cooking purposes, it's easier to measure out 1 teaspoon or 1 tablespoon of the umeboshi plum paste, because they take the plums and they puree it together, so this is a paste. So most of the time I use the umeboshi paste because it's easier to work with cooking, but the umeboshi plums in Japan, you know how we say an apple a day keeps the doctor away? Well, over there they say an umeboshi a day keeps the doctor away. They eat an umeboshi plum a day, and for good reason. First of all, the umeboshi plum will alkalize your system. Disease lives in an acidic condition, so you want your body to be slightly alkalized. The umeboshi plum has antibacterial properties, antiviral properties, antifungal properties, anti-inflammatory properties, and anti-cancer properties. Huge amount of healing benefits right there. Now, you can use the umeboshi for medicinal purposes besides putting it in your food, such as antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. If you accidentally cut yourself, it will clean the wound. And also, because it's mixed with salt, salt has the ability of drawing things out. If you apply it atopically on your skin, it will draw the poison out. So if you get stung by a bee or bit by a deer fly or something like that, if you put a little bit of the umeboshi, it'll clean it, but it will draw the poison out. Now, that has happened to me in the past. I have gotten stung or bit, and I usually go for the umeboshi. Just put a little bit on there, fixes it up right away. Not a problem. So it's a food, it's delicious, but it's also medicinal. It helps to stimulate your digestion. It promotes the elimination of toxins, so it helps cleanse the body of toxins. I already said all that. Shiso leaves. It's fermented with shiso leaves, which are those bright red beefsteak leaves. Shiso leaves have a very strong preservative property. So whenever you make food and you put the umeboshi with it, the food will last longer once you put it in your fridge because of the preservative properties to it. Now, when I make brown rice nori rolls, I always put the umeboshi plum paste on there because that preserves the rice, so the rice doesn't spoil in your roll. That's just one of the things. Now, taste-wise, the umeboshi plums have all 5 flavors. They are salty because they're fermented with salt. They are sour because they're fermented. Fermented food is sour. Pungent. Yes, they have a kick to them. Bitter. They're ever so slightly bitter. And even less, yet it's there, ever so slightly sweet. Because they do start with the umeboshi plum, which is a fruit. So that's the whole gamut, all 5 flavors. Now, the next question I always get asked in class is, well, how do you get the umeboshi? Where can I get that? If I had a store, I would probably be a millionaire because people always want to buy the product. And I get, so The only place you're going to find the umeboshi, good quality umeboshi, is from a health food store. If you go to an Oriental store, I have not found a good quality umeboshi. And in fact, a lot of the Oriental stores, if you pick up the umeboshi and you read the ingredients, there may be sugar, or one time I saw high fructose corn syrup in fermented umeboshi plums. I don't know. That's just something that upsets me, that they would have something so incredibly healthy, so wonderful, so medicinal for you, and then they would put high fructose corn syrup in it. Sometimes I'm at a loss for words when I see stuff like that. So, health food store, and of course, with the internet now, you can just type in umeboshi plums, umeboshi plum paste. Either one of those things will bring you up the umeboshi. Now, I get Matuko brand. Yes, I know my jar is like really old, but they don't make this size jar anymore. I love the size of this jar. It's now sold in like smaller jars. They're much smaller. So, yes, I know the label looks kind of funky, but I've got to use this jar because they don't make this size anymore, and I love this size. So, Mitoko, Matuko. So, this is imported from Japan, where they make the umeboshi in the old traditional way. It's high quality. It's delicious. Eden brand also makes umeboshi. So if you're at a health food store, you can look for Eden brand umeboshi. Know that you can get those also. So the umeboshi is one of my favorite flavorings, favorite ingredients that I use all the time. So now you know about that. It's featured in the Cancer Healing and Prevention series that I have in the bundle. So you can take a look at that. Now, the other things that are in the bundle that I've been bragging about for a week, because you have to get it, Chef Julia Dunaway's whole wheat sourdough class. Look at this. I do not have much left of this loaf that I made using her techniques. In fact, I made another loaf. It's in the refrigerator right now. There's a fermentation process where you have to put it in the fridge. So it's not baked yet, but it is going to be, when this came out of the oven, first of all, my house just smelled amazing, and I let it sit for 1 hour. It was still warm, and I cut into it. That first piece was like heaven. Oh, just amazing. So Chef Julia Dunaway has a class that not only teaches you how to make the bread, it teaches you how to make the starter. So many people don't know how to make the starter, and so many people have commented that that's really cool. Now, I have a starter in my fridge for about 5 years now, and I use iCorn organic whole wheat flour, but I started a new starter with her recipe with organic spelt flour. So now I'm going to have a sourdough starter with spelt flour. And if you want to know more about iCorn organic whole wheat flour and spelt flour, watch the video earlier this week. I posted a video where I talked more about the flour and the history of the flour and why they're called these weird names. Go watch that video. You'll really like it. I've made this recipe twice, and I think I have to make it a third time. This is Chef Mark Reinfeld's recipe in 20 oil-free sauces cookbook in the bundle, and it's tahini turmeric dip. Okay, so I use fresh turmeric. You know I'm a huge fresh turmeric fan. If you've watched any of my videos, I go on and on about fresh turmeric and how much I love it. Fresh turmeric is in the miso soup, and this dip, like I said, look how much, I don't hardly have any left. I think by the end of the day, I'm going to be making that recipe for the third time. And then fresh turmeric, fermented turmeric root. This is Nicole Fugelman. I just talked to her yesterday. Go watch that video. You'll see that interview. Eat Your Way to Health with Fermented Food. She has a fermented food book and some videos in there. Now, this is absolutely delicious. Fermented turmeric root. I love this one. I did Melissa Maris and Chef AJ's recipe for black licorice out of their book, Make It Raw 4. And the texture is just like black licorice. It's pretty cool. I made Linda Laurie's sweet potato brownies. This was one of the first recipes I made when I opened the bundle. This is all I have left. because I'm saving it for display purposes. Otherwise, I would have eaten that too. I made Nate Maris's Crimson Crush hummus. The hummus has a beet in it, and that is out of his cookbook, which is, I always want to make sure I get it right, Crack, Spread, Repeat. Now, Nate Maris also has a book written about his journey of changing his diet called Full Mast. I've read that book. I was very impressed. There's different parts of that book that I really resonated with. I love that book that he talks about the energy. He talks about how he felt. A lot of people, like in the health, they're like, okay, they listen to someone and you got to eat this because of this nutritional value, but he went inside of himself and thought and said to himself, how do I feel after eating this food? And he really paid attention to how he felt, which all ties into the energy of the food, which is what I teach, macrobiotic cooking. So that's Nate Maris. I also interviewed Nate a couple days ago, and that was an incredible conversation. You have to go watch that video. It was such a cool conversation. So that's the vegan health bundle. These are just some of the recipes. Like I said, there's over 1,000 recipes in the bundle. I consider the bundle a gift to yourself, a gift that keeps on giving. You're going to purchase the bundle. You're going to download the bundle in whatever way you want. I put it on a flash drive. You're going to have this thing forever. And so for the next year, once a week, just open something in the bundle and look at it. You might be watching videos. You might be creating a new recipe. If you happen to open up any of Melissa Maris's cookbooks, you're just going to sit there and just look at the pictures because her pictures are absolutely beautiful. I told her when I interviewed her, you could just take her pictures and frame them and hang them on the wall. They're so colorful and so beautiful. So there's something in the bundle for everybody. It's a gift to yourself. Give yourself the gift of health and go ahead and purchase the bundle. Click the link in the description. You've got to click it today, Sunday, February 22nd, or the bundle will be gone. Okay? I cannot emphasize that enough. You have to get the bundle today. $4,500 worth of merchandise. Yours for only $49. Click the link and get the bundle. I know you're going to love it. And for now, get in the kitchen and cook healthy.